Hi guys, it's Andrea with Live to Play Network, and today we're looking at the KRK Rokit 10.3 powered monitor. This is a really unique speaker, so we're going to go through all the features and also talk about what makes it really different. First of all, let's talk about the basic speaker design. We've got a 1-inch silk tweeter at the top. We've got a aramid glass fiber mid speaker. Those are both driven by their own 30-watt amp. We've also got a 10-inch woofer, also made out of aramid glass fiber, and that's driven by its own 80-watt amp. I actually really like this whole glass fiber setup. They sound good. I like the bumblebee look. They're really distinctive, so that's kind of makes this monitor really unique. There's a couple things. But the first thing is you can use it as either a near field monitor or a mid-field monitor. Now if you don't know what that means, I've put together another separate little video that talks about that. The way they make this happen, they have built in a baffle, an outside baffle here that is removable. You can take that off and you can change the axis of the tweeter here so that when you sit this on its side, it's actually in the correct position. I'm going to show you how that works. So, here we've got our baffle. I've taken it off, undone the hex nuts for that. You'll notice that now the speaker, you have access to the upper section of the speaker, and I've also undone the Phillips screws that was holding that in. And we have the ability now to turn the upper assembly and screw it back in. But now the tweeter is actually on the correct axis if you set the speaker on its side, which is what you would want to do if you're using them as near fields. In this direction, probably your best choice for mid fields, right? Cool thing about it is it takes really just a couple minutes to do. So if you had a client coming and you wanted your near fields to suddenly become mid fields, set them back a little further, get them all accessed correctly, you pop off the baffle, undo the screws, get it set up in the right way, and then you're good to go. Really cool. You notice that there's a lot of talk sometimes on audio sites about getting too much bass coming out of the corners of your studio or even off the back wall behind your speakers. If you don't foam those up real good or have baffles up in your studio, you'll get these bass traps, right, where the bass is a little bigger or a slightly different sound that you actually should be hearing because of your room, right? These speakers are great in that way. This front-facing bass port pulls the bass out front, so you have to worry less about it shooting it backwards into your wall. Let's look at the back of the speaker and see what the features are there. We've got a high filter level adjustment and low filter level adjustment. And that's basically the ability to increase or lessen highs in your mix, or increase or lessen lows in your mix. Why would you want to do this with a studio monitor? Using them as near fields, you probably wouldn't, but if you're using them as mid fields, you might. You might want to do that and have a little more bass present when you play something to clients, because we know they hear things differently. We've got a volume level adjust, in case you need to adjust that. And that's maybe if your mix is too hot coming out of a source, or you're setting these up in a surround sound environment, you could adjust them based on how many speakers you've got. We've got an XLR balanced, that's your in. We've got a TRS input if you need that. That's, you know, regular 1/4 inch. We've got an RCA unbalanced, which is actually kind of a nice feature. So, and then you've got an on-off switch, and you can't see this where you are, but we've got our power cable for each monitor.